Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's the 21st of January 2016, and we're recording at Public Access TV studio in FayAR, Arkansas. Okay, these are some still photos made at the Arbest Bank, and it's the Martin Luther King Day holiday. And there were kids from some schools brought there. Some parents brought their children. And they were all there to listen to a wonderful presentation by a 90-year-old woman who served with the U.S. military in the 1940s, I believe, or early 50s, as a nurse. And she was a technician and had a great career in several areas. And she moved back to Fayetteville, Arkansas, after some of her military service and so forth. And she talked about Martin Luther King's growing up in the same time period she did, and how different his life must have been from her life in Fayetteville, Arkansas. One of the things she pointed out was that in Atlanta, Georgia, young Martin Luther King faced signs that said, colored people go to a restroom here or use a water fountain there. Some of them were actually brown. But in Fayetteville, Arkansas, while they recognized it was segregated, there were no such rude signs. There were very few interactions that were not quite reasonable and civilized in Fayetteville, Arkansas, as compared to places like, well, where I grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, Atlanta, and other deep southern cities. So she really shared some views that were possibly a little different from what others would have had. And she recognized the things that were good about Northwest Arkansas when compared to other southern places. So it was very enlightening, very interesting, very well done, and considering she's more than just over 90 years old and has had a very active life, she still gets out and interacts with the public. We see her at the senior center about once a week, I guess. Betty Davis comes there, and some of the things she mentioned was that Martin Luther King's father actually changed his own name, and the man we know as Martin Luther King, his name, so that they would be in honor of, I believe, the Luther, the religious leader from way back in the past, who was someone that I think influenced the life of Martin Luther King's father and thus himself. So anyway, there were many things going on in Fayetteville in honor of this day, but I doubt that any were any more inspiring for the young people there in particular, but others who, didn't have the same experience. The people in Fayetteville that, and maybe here's a man who's close to the same age. He was there. Till next time, do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and Fayetteville the best. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd on the 21st of January 2016, and we're looking at a construction site in South Fayetteville, Arkansas, for a lot of these pictures. You see that is Razorback Road. I'm looking there to take the photo from 15th from 15th Street across Razorback Road, and the site there, I made photos of it for many years, a little bit of video out there too, but it was a native prairie parcel. And it had been, when I first remember it, was 20 years ago or more, when it was a cow pasture. And in years when, especially when they started to reduce the number of cows there, the native plants sprang up from that beautiful, dark, rich soil. And so every year during the growing season, I would be out there several times taking photos of those wildflowers. And those of you who watched short takes in recent years have seen that I was still doing that as much as a year and a half ago. And I really miss what was out there. I know Fayetteville's growing and the university's growing, and that's why those apartments are being built. That's a Fayetteville Trail, which is going along the south end of that property. You can see in the background it comes under the railroad from the east and then crosses just to our left in this shot and goes out to the interstate highway area, and it'll eventually connect to some other areas out to the southwest and back to the north and west. But anyway, those are big old apartments, and you can see the ground level there. The left part of this photo shows the prairie land and the level it had. It was a wetland, had that rich soil that you associate with water soaking in and having plentiful native plants on it. It was really beautiful. Well, these apartments are, I'm sure, going to be attractive in their own way, but I guess the worst thing noticing this, I hadn't been looking at it much lately, but it just looks pretty sad that we're building things to house young students with that kind of wood framing. If a tornado ever comes through, you got to wonder how tough that building would be when it's 4 stories, and why not build it with steel? Okay, this is a part of this that was preserved. Well, there's a lady I'll say something about. That's Cindy Cope. She was at the Martin Luther King Festival that we showed in the previous take. She was a big player in the effort to get Fayetteville named a special City in Bloom, Fayetteville in Bloom program. She was the driving force, as best I could see. There were a lot of people working with her, but she was really good. And she sort of retired from that now. Anyway, don't become a victim. Watch out for scams. There have been reports on a lot of different scams. This one's where people call, they want to do your taxes for you. And what that really means is that they're soliciting a chance to steal your money. So you call, find somebody. Don't just give out information online or on the phone. Till next time, do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. See you.